Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the Fish Tank. So 59, obviously a prime number, and also the popular song by Simon and Garfunkel was called 59th Street Bridge. So there you go, 59th Street Bridge song popularised by Simon and Garfunkel. So there you go. You don't learn that every day, and you probably wouldn't want to learn that every day, if we're being honest, or even at all, let alone every day. So, but nonetheless, I've now told you that, and you now know that, and you now know that Simon and Garfunkel popularised the song 59th Street Bridge, and you can keep that information forever, so you can take that away with you from this episode. So anyway, it's time for Apology of the Week, which this week I'd like to apologise to some friends of mine, Jimbo in particular, because apparently it was out in the Embrace nightclub in Sheffield, and they had like a thing where you can text or send pictures to a certain number and it gets displayed on the big screen in the nightclub. I'm sure you've all seen it, presumably. Basically, they text the number there. They text a picture of me to the number, which meant that a picture of me was on the screen. And apparently, I should have mentioned that a few weeks ago, and also a couple of weeks ago, and also last week. So I mention it now this week. Eventually, it's been mentioned. Thank you very much for sending it. So I'm not sure whether it's like sort of my face is now being used as a mean of communications between various people, but it's like it might have been like a little Fish Tank fan club gathering, where people are sort of basically just putting the face there of me, and if you know me, then go and stand under it and you can have a big chat to other people about me. So if that was the case, then well done, good on you. You may be also intrigued to wonder what the writing is on my top if you see it sort of like running down the sleeves. It actually says on it there, if I can actually put this in front of the camera, there we go. It actually says on it the words weird fish. So managed to get this off a friend of mine. I'm not saying I'm weird or the fish tank's weird, but it says weird fish nonetheless. So what's been happening in the news this week? Well, not all that much, to be honest. Prince Harry is now fully back from Afghanistan. Afghanistan, the world's biggest producer of heroin. Not sure why he went there, to be honest. Although apparently they've sold a lot more heroin since he's come back. Not going to make any suggestions. But there was a large news blackout of it for like 10 weeks. Which is apparently the biggest blackout that Prince Harry's been involved in since his 21st birthday. I'm having a bit of a go at him, but to be fair, it's like I can't really think he's a bit like a pet to most of the UK, because we pay for him, and we want to see him do something a bit strange, like you do with most pets. So he's a good enough lad. The FA Cup has been on. Quarterfinals were at the weekend. Not great for Premiership teams, particularly Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea knocked out to a very good Barnsley team. The semi-finals nowadays are held at Wembley, which would have been ideal for Man United because that's where most of the fans live, sort of around that area. But obviously they've been knocked out by a far worse Portsmouth side, let's be honest. That's the way it is. And if Cardiff actually get through and win the FA Cup, they won't be able to play in the UEFA Cup, because it's the places we get for the UEFA Cup are for English teams and Cardiff's a Welsh team. So there you go, that's an interesting bit of information for you. Transport has been in the news as well this week, because there's new plans to open up hard shoulders of the motorway in busy times and just basically use it as a fourth lane, which is not great if you're sort of like broken down, or you've got a young child who needs to go to the toilet, so you have to pull over into the hard shoulder and let them go, and you've got someone like tearing up behind you at 70 miles an hour, so not an ideal plan. And, there's also plans to have a second runway at Stansted Airport, I think. Well, presumably a second runway, as opposed to... It could just be the case that it's the first runway. There's a little bit at the side of it, so it doesn't normally get used because the plane normally goes down the right hand side. So it might just be like the left hand part of it that can just be used by spare planes at busy times. And there's been complaints as well about the price of tube tickets going up. The tube's a very different place apparently since the attacks on July the 7th, and as a result, like London commuters nowadays actually talk to normal people, sort of people from the north like me. Well, when I say talk, it's sort of like smile and sort of nod and that kind of thing. Which, a message for you sort of like London business people normally get on the tube: don't let the terrorists win, okay? Don't talk to us, just act like you used to do beforehand, okay? So it's time for the Celebometer. I'd like Matthew Hoggard and Stephen Armstrong on the show, mainly Matthew Hoggard, I'll be honest, because he's from Yorkshire. But they were both dropped from the England team, so they could come on and talk about the selection for England Test match that's getting underway tonight. Ironically, I think they're playing in Hamilton, which is the third windiest city in the world. It's ironic considering they're absolutely blown away in the last Test match, England. The batsmen were absolutely terrible, horrendous, pathetic, basically. And the only changes that they've made to the selection is they've dropped 2 bowlers. Just bear in mind the bowlers managed to get England into a match-winning position. For the batsmen to only get himself bowled out for 110, perhaps makes you think they should have changed some batsmen. But, they're playing against the New Zealand cricket team, which is called the Black Caps. Now, all the teams, the New Zealand men's teams, have got the word black in it, so it's Black Caps for cricket, All Blacks for rugby, Tall Blacks for basketball, and the badminton team used to be called the Black Cocks. Right, someone asked me this question the other week: which New Zealand sports team is nicknamed the Black Cocks? Right, just a bit of advice for you: don't do what I did, which was type the word Black Cocks into Google. Okay, don't do it. It was very foolish. So it's time for headline of the week now, anyway, which is talking about Liverpool owner Tom Hicks and his dealings with the Dubai International Corporation. And it says Liverpool co-owner Tom Hicks terminates talks with Dick over acquiring a minority stake in the club. Okay, so that's from the BBC News website, that one as well. Right, you know that the sort of first letters of Dubai International Capital, sorry, I might have said corporation earlier, capital, Dubai International Capital, you know it spells Dick. There's no need to put it down, alright? It's not amusing, guys. It's very childish, okay? It's time for quote of the week now as well. It comes from Big Ron Atkinson. It says, you'd have fancied that to go in, as it was rising and dipping at the same time. So, bit strange. Probably forget about the ball going in. You should probably be more concerned about the ball defying the laws of physics. But there you go. So, before I go, I'd just like to announce that apparently a performance by a bunch of tap dancing penguins has been called off tonight after all the performers got cold feet. So there you go. I'll see you next week and I'll be back in Sheffield. Goodbye.